Good morning and welcome, Reach Out and Read of Greater New York community. I am super excited to welcome, I think, what might be our most special read aloud yet. We have two children's authors with us here today, Adijah and Atiya, who have written a book that was inspired by their time with Reach Out and Read when they were children. Um, and we even have the pediatrician that they have seen, Dr. Aspinall-Daley. So for now, they're going to read their book, and then we will do a quick Q&A with everyone afterwards, and we can't wait. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Atiya Brabham. I'm Adijah Brabham. And today we're going to read our book that we authored, Different and the Same, written by illustrator Patrick Girouard. Here we go. Different and the Same. Nia and Nori are sisters. They have the same eyes, mouth, ears, and nose. They are identical twins, I suppose. Nori loves her puffy ponytail. Nia loves her curly afro. They both like to wear big polka dot bows. They are different and the same, you see. Nia likes to eat vegetable pie. Nori likes to eat vegetable stew. They both enjoy helping Grandma cook. It's a fun thing to do. They are different and the same, you see. Nia's favorite pets are cats. Nori's favorite pets are dogs. They are both afraid of croaking frogs. They are different and the same, you see. Nori loves to play basketball. Nia loves to splash and swim. They both like to climb the jungle gym. They are different and the same, you see. Nia is an architect. Nori is an engineer. They both work together to build tall skyscrapers, far and near. They are different and the same, you see. Nia enjoys trips to the aquarium. Nori enjoys trips to the zoo. They both like to feed the animals and take pictures too. They are different and the same, you see. Nia's favorite color is red. Nori's favorite color is blue. They both like to experiment to make something new. They are different and the same, you see. Nia likes to sing and draw. Nori likes to sing and paint. They never, ever leave the paper blank. They are different and the same, you see. Nia likes to read. Nori likes to write. They both like to tell scary stories at night. They are different and the same, you see. Unique. Just like you and me. The end. Thank you for listening to our story, Different and the Same. Thank you.
Amazing. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for reading and signing. That was a very unexpected treat for us and our viewers. So I see we have Dr. Aspinall-Daley here now, which is wonderful. So we have a few questions we're hoping you could answer about your book and what inspired you, if you can stick around.
Sure.
All right, so we mentioned at the start that this was a very personal story. Could you tell our viewers a little bit more about what inspired you to write this book?
Okay. Well, it started, Adijah and I are both educators, so we're really big on social emotional development and promoting self-awareness. As identical twins and growing up as identical twins, we were always seen as one. We were one individual, so we weren't able to develop our self-awareness at an early age. That didn't happen until mid-teenage years. So as educators, we learned the importance of self-awareness. So we decided to create literature that promotes self-awareness in young children. And when we decided that, we started to focus on the character Nia. Originally, she was one character. And then Adijah read over the draft and she realized, wait a minute, we are limiting our possibilities with one character. If we want to promote social emotional development and self-awareness, we should try and use two characters so they can have a great comparison or concrete comparison. What do you think? Well, actually, I'm a teacher. I'm a special education teacher, and I realized too in the classroom, a lot of times kids want to be like other people. So, if one kid likes something, everybody wants to follow the majority. So I think it's very important. I told Tia it's important to show two people how they are different. And we really want to focus on differences first.
Wonderful.
So that's where it started.
Thank you.
That's really awesome. Thank you for that. And as we were talking about before, that self-awareness is before the call, that self-awareness is really important. Thank you, Atiya and Adijah. So Dr. Aspinall-Daley, I'm not sure if you can hear us or if you can hear us. So maybe I can ask you some, like one or two questions. You can type your response. And then while you're typing, Kristen, would you want to ask the twins maybe the last question?
Yes.
We're sorry that we can't hear you, Dr. Aspinall-Daley, but thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it in your busy time. But so my question for you, Doctor, is could you just tell us just one or two things about your memories of the twins and why seeing them grow up and write this story and do all the great things they're doing means so much to you? Thank you.
All right, and while she is typing, I will ask another question. Can you talk about not only the importance of diverse representation in books, but also practical ways that we can encourage children of color to become writers, authors, and physicians?
Well, it goes back to self-awareness. Adijah and I were both readers and writers. We spent a lot of time in the library when we were younger. Although we connected with characters, the characters didn't look like us. They didn't face all the challenges that we faced growing up in Queens, New York. So we felt that reading, kids like to read. And one way to grab children in and to promote literacy is to put the characters inside the books. When children look at books, they can see themselves. They can find a connection somewhere within that book. So when we know kids, they love characters. And as Atiya and I was growing up, we latched on the characters. When we read character books. So I think that's important. So Nia and Nori are characters that the kids can latch on to.
Wonderful. Thank you. It's so important having that representation. Of course, you want to see yourself in a story. I mean, how cool is that to put yourself in the shoes of those characters that get to do all of these fun and exciting things that you may or may not be able to do, depending on, how fantastical the story is.
And we actually started the story, how we started off with our hair. One big thing is embracing. That's something that we need to work on, embracing our own hair from early on. And so we started off with appreciating that as a feature of us, it's a part of us. And we enjoy it, we love it. So that's how we started the story.
Wonderful. Thank you.
That's awesome. And maybe while we wait for Dr. Aspinall-Daley to send her response, Atiya and Adijah, do you guys remember? I can ask you about you guys' memories going to Dr. Aspinall-Daley's office, and I'd love to just hear about that.
Okay, so I would say that I didn't go to Dr. Aspinall per se, my daughter. So my Aloud children went to Dr. Aspinall. So it wasn't us, Atiya and I, it was our children. So our children are now adults, but all of them went to Dr. Aspinall. And I think my first experience was going to her office, she has so many different books, and they would give books out. So I think that was the most memorable experience that I have. Besides, she's a great doctor. So they're actually been seeing Dr. Aspinall for 21 years, right? We started to see Dr. Aspinall in January of 1998 when Nia was born. And one thing that we did notice about her doctor's office is that it was flooded with books. And so I was surprised she was distributing those books and giving them out free to the patients. So most of our children's library came from Dr. Aspinall's office. Thank you, Dr. Aspinall. Thank you so much. So our children to this day love to read. They love to read.
Amazing. I love it.
Wow.
So it looks like we have a response from Dr. Aspinall. She said, when we first met, they were both new mothers. I was very impressed with their relationship with each other, and even more so their relationship with their children. They built confidence and they encouraged them to be lifelong learners, which we have seen too. And I will say, what wasn't caught in on the live session was one of their daughters, Nia, helping us tech problem solve. So clearly she has confidence and patience, because dealing with tech issues is not always the easiest thing to do. So we got to witness it in real time.
So thank you everybody for joining us today, and
actually
especially
one more question.
Sorry. Oh yeah, one more
question. Can you talk about and this is both for Dr. Aspinall-Daley and then for Adijah and Atiya. Can you tell us about the importance of Reach Out and Read? Why is it important, and maybe elaborate a little bit more on why it was important for your children to go through the program.
Absolutely. So while Dr. Aspinall is typing, I can address that question. The importance of what I noticed going to Dr. Aspinall's office as being a young mother, that the children were reading to each other, siblings were reading. Parents, while they were waiting, they were reading to their children. So it promoted family literacy. And the books were there. So people who didn't have access, a normal access to books, they had access by going to the doctor's office. So that's something that inspired me with Dr. Aspinall's office, again, together for us to create books. So it's available and there's access to families and encourage family literacy. That was the biggest thing. And it's still going on today. So we have family members that go to Dr. Aspinall are receiving books as well. So we're very happy about that. Access to books.
We love seeing that it's been since 1998. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And that you've, created this legacy. You and Dr. Aspinall-Daley have created this legacy of reading and the importance of reading from birth and family literacy. I was so happy that you mentioned family literacy. That is huge. As you both know, as educators, your kids mimic what you do. As educators and mothers, I'm sure. If they see you reading, this is something that you value. This is something that they'll value too. All right, and then Dr. Aspinall-Daley said the children develop a strong love of reading, and even pre-reading, it builds a strong foundation for learning. And she is exactly right. And I just pinned her video to the big screen, so should be able to see her instead of a tiny little square. And she's one of our incredible physicians who has been doing this for over 20 years and encouraging families and children to read together and giving early language and literacy development information to parents and caregivers, which is something that we're incredibly grateful for, and all the families that you've served for over 20 years, and it's still going strong. So that's just absolutely incredible. And I'm sorry we couldn't get the audio working, but I'm happy we at least got to see your face and you in your office too. And I even see some posters of kids reading and things on your walls too. So that is really wonderful to see. One more quick thing I'll mention, and I think I'll get Dr. Aspinall-Daley's sign off on this, is that please take your children in for vaccines. It is still perfectly safe to take your kids in for vaccines right now. And if you visit your Reach Out and Read clinic, you get a book to take home with you, which they will happily hand out to you. So please, please, please come in and take your children to get their vaccines. They're taking all of the necessary precautions to keep you and your kids safe. So please keep that in mind. So that is it for our wrap up. I want to thank all three of you for being here and so inspired by your story of how your daughters in Reach Out or your children in Reach Out and Read inspired you to, keep the world of literacy going, and your story and experience as children growing up as twins and not necessarily seeing yourself represented in books. We need more stories like yours. So thank you for all of the wonderful things that you have put into this world. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.